context for today's masterclass. Today, we are going to talk about how you can get an offer in one of the top product companies, per se Google, right? So how can you become a full stack developer at Google? Or how to get a job at Google as a full stack developer would be the topic around today's masterclass. I'm sure you have a few questions, and then that's where Taransa comes into the picture, who is going to guide us and we're going to answer your questions. Whatever you would like to ask, right? So today's masterclass is of 1 hour of duration. It will start precisely at 2 o'clock, and we're going to have a wrap at 3 o'clock. Right, we have updated our schedule than being planned, reason being due to some clash with the schedule with other commitments. We have to have this wrapped up early. Okay, so all right, so that is going to be the context for today's masterclass. All right, cool. Guys, talking about why this masterclass that we have today, right? So I would say that, and I would require all of your consent into the chat box if you're interested. How many of us would agree that it is difficult it is not really difficult to get a job at Google. It's just that lack of understanding and knowledge of the roadmap to get a job at Google. I guess all of us have that required skill. That's why we are forecasting that organization, right? So that is correct. There could be a possibility that we do have the required skill to be selected at Google. We might not know the roadmap to get selected over there. Okay. And it could be Google, it could be any of the top product company, right? Second point is that maybe, yeah, I mean, no is also an answer. So yes, I guess Tarun would be the ideal person to talk in detail about it. But yeah, second case could be that maybe we do not have the required skill, correct? And maybe we need to know that what are the skills required to get selected into one of these top product companies. Again, all of us can have different perceptions, all of us can have different plans about it. And that is why we have this masterclass today. It could be opinions of different people over here, right? So let's talk to the second fold, that why today's masterclass, right? So today's masterclass is aligned with our full stack development bootcamp. It's a 6 months long bootcamp with offering more than 20 plus capstone projects, weekend training, live problem solving, capstone projects, etc. Tools that will improvise your resume, as well as career assistance that we're going to talk in more detail, right? So it is aligned with that. And at the end, we're going to talk about the scholarship that we are offering for this particular bootcamp, right? So lastly, a quick introduction about our expert today, Tarun. So Tarun has been an architect, he's an author, has more than 20 years of experience into this tech industry, taught over more than 5,000 learners, worked into big companies like Microsoft, Oracle, BlackBerry, and SAP. So as we are at 2 p.m., over to you, Tarun sir. And once again, a gentle reminder, guys, we are going to have a wrap at 3 o'clock. Okay. So quick update for all of you. You are entitled to receive a certificate if you stay till the end until you hear the scholarship amount. Okay. So I'll see you again. But now over to Tarun sir to proceed with the class.
Sure. So yes, good afternoon, everyone. And yes, welcome to this session on how to become a full stack developer at Google. So as Nikshuba has already introduced me, I have around 18 plus years of experience. I've worked in various companies in various roles. I've worked in FANG companies, including Microsoft, have worked in OYO, have worked in various other product companies, SAP, Oracle, and have been mentoring students and learners since more than 10 years and helping people achieve success in their career. So as an engineering manager, as a director, I was doing it. And now I'm engaged with Upgrade Knowledge Hub to also help you guys reach success in your career. We will be today talking about how to clear Google interviews. I will be sharing insights about what are the best practices. I myself cleared various FANG interviews, including Google, and also have also mentored people at all levels, starting from SD1 to senior software engineer, principal software engineer, even up to director level. I have helped people to achieve success and get shortlisted and selected in FANG companies like Google. So this would be very interactive session. So I know that you have a lot of curiosity. Some of you would be prepared. So if you have any questions around how the preparation should be, what are the rounds, what is the expectations to get into Google, and what are the best practices which can get you selected at Google, I will be happy to share. So yes, I see you all. I can allow you to talk also if you have questions, but yes, you can interact with me through various mediums. For example, you can use the chat. You can use the Q&A section in this meeting. You will see there is a section of Q&A. And then, yes, if you feel that the question could be valid for other participants also, feel free to put it in the Q&A. Other participants can also upvote it, and this way I will be able to take the most liked questions first. But yes, I will ensure that I answer each and every question in depth, because the goal of this session is to give you good clarity about how to crack and how to secure position in Google, right? So yes, this is about the session. But yes, I will also be checking the chat. So there is a chat option also. So you can type your message or any inputs or any queries you have in the chat section also. And you can also raise your hand. Then I will enable your mic and you can speak out any queries you have. Right? So do you have any queries already? Because yes, I see one question already posted. This is about the length of the training. Today we will be having 1 hour session, brief 1 hour session I will be giving. Right, great. I see someone has hands raised, or anyone wants to talk about anything? Yes. So yes, I would ask you to just say thumbs up if you are able to hear me properly. Just this is a check whether my voice is audible and I'm clear to you all. Yes, great, great. Right, okay. So I see one question which is from Suraj. He is saying he is a fresher. Okay, and what he needs to do to get good package, right? So great, great. So yes, this is a question, and if you want to get into any good company, yes, definitely. This session is about Google, but yes, you can also gain insights and all the learnings. I will be sharing advice which will also be valid for other FANG companies also, or any other top product companies, because there are many good companies these days. Now India has a lot of startups, and these startups also share opportunities. They also provide career growth opportunities which are equivalent and at par with any FANG companies. Right? So yes, as a fresher, what you have to do. See, in top tech company, they are software workshops. So they need programmers. So very important thing for all of you is to build excellent programming skill. Now, what do you mean by excellent programming skill? You have to master any one programming language, right? Again, there are different roles available in various companies. So the roles which I will be talking about is mostly I'll be talking about full stack development because that's the most common role. So full stack development means you are front-end developer, a person who would be developing UI, either a web UI for browsers like Chrome, or you would be doing mobile application development, either on Android or iOS platform. This is front-end development. Back-end development means you are building the services, web services, RESTful web services, or you are building the back-end logic, which could include database integration, because you would have seen all the apps, for example, Zomato, maybe Amazon, and any application requires the data to be stored in the database. So when you fill in some information, this is stored and it's processed. So when you place an order at Amazon, in the background, they will check the stock availability. They will ship the item to your address. They will find out which is the most cheap logistics which is available for delivery, and they will calculate the date of delivery and show you all the relevant detail. So there's a lot of background processing happening. So this is all about backend development. And if you are capable of doing both the front-end development as well as back-end development, yes, you may have mastery in one, but you have good understanding of both of this. Then you become a full stack developer. So this is about full stack developer. Now, to be a full stack developer, you definitely need to have good programming knowledge. Now, by programming knowledge, what do I mean? Which programming language, right? So very important thing. Any programming language is sufficient. Yes, it could be Java, it could be C, C++, it could be JavaScript, it could be C#, it could be any other programming language, right? Which could be Python as well. So you should know any one programming language, which is a modern programming language, which is an object-oriented programming language. So you need to learn one programming language. And out of these programming language, if you are choosing, okay, which one to learn, if you have zero background in programming, you may start with Java, or you may start with Python, right? Based on, no, maybe you can play around with different programming language for some time and see whichever is most comfortable for you. I would advise most of the time it has worked out. People have appreciated Java or Python, right? Java, I believe, is very popular language. You have more opportunities for full stack development in Java. But if you are inclined towards data science, then you can choose Python. Right? Now, in any programming language, there are a lot of features, a lot of things which you can learn. What exactly you have to learn in programming? So you don't need to learn each and everything in programming. You have to learn foundations, focus on the fundamentals. So focus on basic syntax, maybe libraries which are relevant for data structures. So you learn string, you learn mathematical APIs, you learn various libraries which are relevant for data structure. And out of various programming language, you have to learn the syntax of basic programming elements. Like you need to learn if else, loops, various control statements. You need to know how to create functions and how to call functions, how to create arrays. That's it. Nothing more or less, right? No need to learn exception handling, or no need to learn multi-threaded programming, because for programming interviews, what is tested is your understanding of logic, programming ability. You are not tested on your understanding of knowledge of libraries, knowledge of frameworks, or knowledge of APIs in any programming language. But what you are tested is your general programming ability, as well as knowledge of data structures and algorithm. So the next thing is you need to master data structures and algorithms. By data structures, algorithms, I mean you should know arrays, linked list, queues, stacks, and various other data structures like heaps, hash maps, trees, graphs, etc. So you should know all the topics well, and you should be able to program using these data structures. So given any problem, you should be able to solve this and provide the efficient approach for solving the problem in hand. This is what is the expectation. So you should have good understanding of all the data structures and algorithms. If you are coming from computer science background, you would have learned this in data structure course which you had. But yes, if you are not from computer science background, then also you can prepare yourself, because computer science background is, if you see any of the job description at Google, you will see that they have mentioned preferred qualification. So preferred qualification is computer science background, but this does not mean it is a mandatory qualification. People from other backgrounds, which could be, you can be an electronic engineer or an electrical engineer or any other stream engineer, also chemical, civil, or even from non-engineering backgrounds also, you can prepare and get selected in Google. But what you need to know is good programming. You should have the skills. If you are having the skills, you will be able to clear the Google interviews or any other top product companies. Now, my next question, questions which would be coming to you is how to prepare for programming, right? So for learning any programming, definitely there are various resources available. So what works best for you, you can use that to learn programming, but understand that practice is very important. So you have to practice multiple solve problems. So to warm up, if you have programming background, you should solve around 50 problems to build understanding of programming in a particular language. This is not sufficient to clear the Google interview, but this is sufficient to just get an understanding of programming. So for becoming a basic programmer, beginner programmer, you will need to solve, I would say, as a first step, solve 50 problems in any programming language which you want to learn. Right. I'll take questions one by one, but yes, if I'm answering some of the questions, if I'm seeing some related questions, I will answer them in one flow. So yes, practice some problems, fundamental problems, and then move on to learn data structure and do practice data structures for all the data structures and algorithm concepts which are there. Right? So there are around 30 concepts in data structures. It's a huge amount of content. But yes, you can say if you are starting from scratch and if you have no prior experience in data structures, around 3 to 4 months is what you will take to crack or to go through and master all the data structures, provided you are working on daily basis and devoting 2 to 4 hours every day on building up data skills, data structure skills. So this is what you need to crack interview at Google in fresher level, right? So this is one way. Definitely the other skill which is needed is you have to highlight your communication skills, behavioral skills. You have to showcase yourself as a person who can work in a team environment. So if you had done some project in the past, it could be college project or it could be a side project, you can highlight that in your resume and you can talk about this in the interviews. So this is what is required to become a engineer in Google or any other company like this if you are a fresher. I see few hands raised. Please, no, I see Suraj, you have raised your hand. Please go ahead, ask your question if you have any. Let me allow you to talk. Yes, Suraj, go ahead. If you have any
Sir?
questions. Yeah, you are
Yes,
audible.
sir. Yeah, so actually I had a question that I don't have 60% throughout, okay, in my 10, 12th and graduation.
Yes.
And still I want to work for an MNC
Yes.
company, okay. So how I can approach to that one?
Right. See, you don't need to worry about what is your current skill is what is mattering for getting into good companies. Focus on programming skill, do some side project. This way you will be getting shortlisted. I can guarantee you, because companies do not bother about your previous qualifications. But yes, what they bother is your current qualification. Yes. So assume I am the hiring manager, or assume you play a hiring manager role and I am Suraj. I have very good Java programming skills, right? I have good understanding of algorithms and data structures, and I am skilled enough to contribute successfully in your project, right? So
Yes.
whatever may be my percentages in the past, maybe I got 35%. Will you hire me, right? Will you be worried that this guy has 35%, but yes, he is exceptional and his skill is good in programming, right?
Yes, sir.
It does not matter. It does not matter, because what is you need to do is run the business, ensure your product is successful and your customers are happy. And if you have good programming skills, if you have confidence that you can learn programming and master programming, you should go ahead and learn this, right? And definitely anyone can learn, because this is not a rocket science. You can learn by practice. Programming is a skill. If you practice more, you can learn it. So difference between people who clear interviews and who do not clear interview is the number of practice, right? Number of programs they have written. So if as I said, in 4 to 6 months, if you daily practice and solve at least 3 problems every day, in 6 months, you will find that you will have very good skills. This is the maximum I'm saying, right? Maybe it may be 3 months, 4 months, based on how much exposure you have, what is your learning ability. If you can pick up things fast, you may be able to achieve it in 3 to 4 months, but have patience. It will not happen that in few weeks or few days, you will become a world-class programmer. You need excellent programming skill, and you need a lot of practice, and you need a lot of consistency, because the Google and big companies, they look for top 5% or top 10% of the talent, right? In big product companies, they look for top 20% of the talent. So you have to prove yourself that you are a skilled programmer who has the ability to program better than 80% of other freshers or other people as per your experience level.
Okay, so that is nice. I like to. I mean, I'm glad to hear this, because actually during the college, we had a company came in the campus interview. Okay, so it was TCS. Okay, so
Yes.
they are basically asking for the 60% throughout marks.
Yes.
So
So
this
that
is
does not
where,
happen here, right? Because now off campus, you can apply and you can get shortlisted. Don't worry, right?
okay, so thank you.
Awesome. So yes, in campus interviews, company do put some criteria, because in now colleges, there are hundreds of candidates and they have to do the entire process in one day in few hours. So you need some way to filter out people. So that is the only reason they put the criteria. If they would be allowed to do hiring for more number of days, definitely they would not have this criteria. They would have some other criteria, right? Great. So next, I see some other questions, right? If you have any questions related to the course, definitely you can reach out to the career counselor. You have been shared a form, and this form, if you fill, you can put your details. Then you will be connected by someone, from the upgrade to talk about, any of your queries. They will be able to answer the queries. Right. So yes. So I talked about, as a fresher, what you need to do for clearing programming interviews. Now, next thing is, if someone is looking for ML positions, I see some queries which are related to data science, AI, ML positions. So still you need to be a very good programmer. So whatever advice I have given still holds true. But on top of it, you need to know the domain, which is data science, AI, ML. You need to prepare and know some of the tools for data science, AI, ML. So your knowledge is required in these areas as well. And some project experience, which could be some side project. Need not have to be real project in some company. It could be a side project also. So this is about how do you prepare yourself for FANG companies. Now, understand here that with good programming skills, how do company differentiate that this person is a world-class programmer or has better skills than rest of the candidates? So they check your speed and accuracy. So you may be aware of all the topics, but you have to solve the problem within the duration of the interview, which is 45 minutes. Building speed and accuracy is very important. Speed means you should be able to complete the problem solving within 45 minutes. Basically, you have 45-minute interview, but you should understand in this 45 minutes, not all the time is available for you to solve the problem. You may have 35 minutes only to solve the problem. So given any problem, you should be able to write working code in 35 minutes. And in interview, you would be given some tool which could be like Google Doc to write the code. You will not get the IDE, a real coding editor you will not get. You will get some tool which is very basic. Maybe sometimes if it's a face-to-face interview, in some companies nowadays, they have face-to-face interviews. You may be asked to write code in Blackboard, whiteboard or Blackboard, or on pen and paper sometimes. So you should be able to write code without using any tools. So that is also important, and you should be able to write it fast. Again, to learn how to write code fast or how to improve your fast speed, what you need is you need to practice more. If you practice more, you'll be able to learn how to write code fast. Right? So practice more and more problem solving. This will build the speed. But yes, once you are able to consistently solve problems within 35 minutes, then you can be confident that you will clear interviews, FANG interviews. Okay, I see one interesting question. So this is from Geetam. He's asking, why do companies ask DSA questions, right? DSA problems. So companies ask DSA problems because what they focus is on the fundamentals, right? See, the reason why they ask, they don't ask language details or framework details or library details. Reason is, if you have strong foundations, you can always learn these in few weeks of time. They can always provide training and they can always upskill you, you can yourself upskill in the latest technology. But what is difficult is to build your programming skills. As I said, if you want to start from scratch and you want to learn programming, it will not happen in few days or few weeks. You need months, right? So to build good skills. And these companies, they work in large scale products. Large scale product means, for example, Google search. Google search is very performing application. If your internet is down, the first thing you check is you type Google to check whether your internet is working or not. The reason is it is the fastest site. Yes. If say other applications, for example, Amazon, if I give example of Amazon, in Amazon also, you have Amazon e-commerce application. There are billions of products and millions of orders every day, which is being processed. So they require very good code, good high performing code. If there is slight low performance, when these applications, these could scale to millions of users, they will not be able to deal with all the requirements which these companies have. Same is the case with Facebook or Apple. These companies, they work in large scale applications. So they want strong fundamentals of computer science because they want best in class programmer, because normal programmer will not be able to deal with that much of complexity. So that's why they ask data structures and algorithm. And this is something which takes time to achieve, and you need programming ability. But yes, once you have it, you are good enough to work in any framework, right? You can always upskill and build upon this and deliver any product. So these skills are like the fundamental skills, foundation skills, right? So that's why DSA is asked, and because it differentiates good programmer from average programmers or not good programmers. But yes, in DSA, as I'm continuing, that speed of problem solving is important, and they also check for accuracy. So when you write code, accuracy means your code should not be buggy. It should be a clean code. It should be understandable, readable code. So you should also learn and practice how to write readable code, understandable code, maintainable code. That means the code should be modular, right? So it should be easily understandable. And another thing you should understand is, when you are asked any question in big companies, the solution is important, but approach is equally important. So if I ask you any data structures question, data structures and algorithm question, why I'm asking? Just understand, try to understand why I'm asking you this question. Because I want to test your programming skill. If I'm asking you, give me an algorithm to sort this array, definitely when I hire you, in the real project, I'll not give you this project that you please sort this array. Maybe there will be more complex problems which you will be getting, not exactly the problem which is being asked in the interview. So if you just know the solution, mug up the solution and share it, it will not fetch you any credit, right? You will not get good rating because of your solution. What you have to do is you have to describe the approach. And you have to convince me that not only you can solve this problem, but you can also solve similar problem if you are given, right? So in real projects, you may be getting much more complex problems. So you have to share that you have an approach, which is an approach of a good programmer. Again, this will come from practice. And you have to also explain the approach, because if you have bad communication skills, maybe you know the answer, but you are not able to communicate it well. So you need to practice interviewing skill as well. to become a good candidate who can clear interviews. So focus on explaining your solution. You can practice it with your colleagues, friends, any mentor, coach. Experienced people, yeah, if you can practice it with senior, it's more helpful because they can guide you better. But yes, more you practice, more you get better, and see if the other person is able to understand and seek his advice and opinion for how you are explaining this solution, right? Because you have to share the solution and also you have to convince the interviewer that this is the right solution. And you can convince if you share the right reasoning, because I have used this approach, because this is better in this approach. You have to share the right reason, which is very important. Right. So again, if someone wants to know about the price of the course, again, they can reach out to the academic counselor by filling up the form. And yes, there are discounts and scholarships also available. So you can discuss. This is on case by case basis. So please feel free to reach out. I'm seeing another question. This is from Devi Monica. And I see she's asking, I'm a 23 graduate, 2023 graduate, and she's looking to apply for various companies. She's using various platforms like Naukri, but not receiving any response, right? Okay. So yes. Now assume you have got the required preparation. Now next stage is build a good resume, right? So definitely first thing which you have to do after getting ready for the is after preparation is build a good resume. So how to build a good resume? Definitely there are various advice, but no, it's not a very tough task. You can look into some of the professional reviews resume and update your resume. What you have to highlight is your understanding of data structures and algorithm. If you're applying in FANG companies, highlight your experience working in complex problems, highlight your experience solving data structures and algorithm problems. Mention your skills. Programming skills are very important for freshers, especially. Share whichever programming language you know, whether it's Java or any other programming language. Please share what all you know, right? So you basically need to know programming language and few other technologies, which could be, you need to know any backend framework, you need to know any database, and you need to know any front-end technology. So these 3-4 technologies you need to know, and you should do some project, or you should highlight some project, which could be your college project, or it could be a side project which you can take while you are learning these technologies. So what you can do is, if you are not having experience, or if you have not done any internship, etc., seeking internship opportunity is another way of doing side project. But other opportunity is maybe you can do on your own a side project. Pick, if you have some interesting idea, you can build that using some programming language and various databases and frameworks, and highlight them in your resume. You can share the code in GitHub. You can also blog or write some article about it, or maybe record a demo of what you have achieved. Showcase that and put this in your resume, because this will give an idea to the person who is screening your resume that you have good programming skills. And if you paste the link to your GitHub code and link to article and demo, he may view it also, and he can get good understanding of what you are capable of. So this is the other strategy which you should do. Now, once you do this, the third step is, if you apply through career portal, you should also understand hundreds of candidates are applying through career portal. Yes. So even if you have a good resume, it may not land up with the hiring manager or recruiter, because hiring manager is the person who is shortlisting you for the interview. Or the recruiter has to first screen your resume and send it to hiring manager, and hiring manager will finally decide whether to ask scheduling of your interviews or whether to reject you or filter out, screen your resume. Now, best approach is build network. How should you apply? You should apply through referral. See if you have friends, relatives, colleagues, maybe alumni, right? Your seniors. These are the people who can help you out, get referral to the position where you want to apply. Build a network. I would advise, if you have built a good resume, use the same content, build a good LinkedIn profile, right? You may also build a Naukri profile and other job portals. You can also build your profile using the same content, right? Or similar content. Yeah, in LinkedIn, definitely you can highlight more details because you have more space available. In resume, you have to keep it short and brief. But yes, in these portals, you can highlight your resume, and this way you will get more networking possible, because maybe sometimes recruiters, when they are searching for deserving candidates, they do this in LinkedIn. So if your profile is ranking good in LinkedIn, then you will also hear from recruiters. They will reach out to you sharing that, yes, they have open positions. Will you be interested in applying that? But yes, what you can do is you can see if you can build connections. If you have good LinkedIn profile, you can also build connections with various professionals, and you can also request them to give you referral, and people are willing to help. And if you ask, most of the time, I would see that people will be willing to help and refer you in the organization. And if you get through referral, because referral will know the hiring manager, he will forward your resume directly to referral. So this is one important thing which you should do to increase your chances of getting shortlisted. Right? There is another benefit of applying through referral, right? Which is very important benefit. If assume your resume gets rejected, right? So if your resume gets rejected, do not feel upset, because you have not lost anything. But what you need to do is you have to follow up with the person who referred you, ask what was missing in your profile, why your resume got rejected. They will tell that, yeah, probably this skill was missing, or what was the problem, what was they looking for, which was not there in your profile. So if you know that, then you can work on this and reapply after some days after working on these. So seek feedback. This you can do with the referral. This you cannot do if you are applying through career portal, because you can't go back to career portal and ask, why I got rejected. But yes, if you have a person who helped you to apply in a position, you can reach out to this person or reach out to recruiter if a recruiter was in touch with you. So this way, but yes, always ensure you are seeking feedback why you are not getting selected, right? So these are the primary reasons why you are not selected. So seek out if you are knowing that you are rejected. But yes, if your resume has not reached the hiring manager, then you don't have the feedback. So probably also have some patience, because right now very few companies are hiring. But definitely in next few months, lot of openings will come. Reason is all the big companies, they need lot of people because they have very complex projects, and only raw material software companies need is programmers, right? All industry needs some raw material, but in IT industry, if you have to build Facebook, you don't need any raw material, you need skilled programmers. And if you have skilled programmers, you can build any application, whether it's Amazon, or Google search or Facebook, right? So here, no company can remain in hiring freeze forever, right? They cannot be there for more than a year, and already there are hiring freeze since many months. So in next few months, only in few months, it will again start. No, a lot of company will again start hiring, and a lot of open positions will come. So in this meantime, devote time for learning and upskilling so that as soon as the positions are there, you are ready to apply, right? And also, in case someone has some career break, no need to worry, because in this time, many people have career break. And again, as I said, the companies do not worry about your background. What they worry about is your current skills, right? And people do improve. They learn from their previous experience. So FANG companies are always open. They are inclusive. And if you are capable and you are a good programmer, they will hire you without asking you any further question, right? They'll not ask what was your current CTC, what was your previous companies, or why you had career break, or why you did this branch or that branch, right? So what they look forward, they will only ask you, are you able to solve the data structure problem? Are you a good programmer? Are you a good communicator? You can follow a good approach, systematic approach, and solve complex problems. If yes, then you can clear the interviews. Right? So for full stack development, yes, you need to prepare a lot of topics, as I stated. And for experienced people who have 2+ or around 4 years of experience, they should also work towards building good architectural skills or system design skills, because system design is another round which is very important in FANG companies. This is mostly for senior people. For freshers, they should understand the computer science fundamentals. So after building programming skills, they should devote 70% of their time building good programming skills, because if they are good programmer, they are almost 70% through. And if they perform decently in other rounds, they will be selected in the company, right? But yes, what is the next 30%? So the next 30% is system design skills. So for fresher, you should have basic understanding of what are different kinds of database, what are relational databases, how to design a database schema, how to use different kinds of database, and when is different database suitable, right? Just a minute. Yes. So yes, I should be audible. There was slight power disruption. So I just fixed my lighting. Yes. Okay. So yes, so what I was talking about was you need to have good understanding of architectural concept. That means you should understand basic DBMS concepts. You should know about caching. You should know about what is an application server, what is a web server, what is proxy, what is load balancer. You should have understanding of how internet works, some understanding of networking, and some understanding of different protocols is required. So these includes topics like operating system, database management system, networking, and distributed architecture. This is the other skill which you need to clear FANG interviews. If you are 8 years or 10 years of experienced person, then this becomes very important. Probably it will be, no, now your programming skills is 60% important, but remaining 30% is on this skill, on your design skills, right? And if you are 15-year experience or 12 plus year experienced person, or you are applying for principal software engineer position, then the architectural skills are very important, and demonstrating understanding of working in large scale environment is also very important. Yes. But yes, as a fresher also, you should have some understanding. And as you grow up in the ladder, or you are gaining more experience, keep understanding all these concepts which are related to building large scale applications. Right. So this is the next preparation which you need. Last but not the least, there is a third skill also which you need, is your behavioral skills. Behavioral skills is basically your communication skills and team skills. Right. So communication skills, you will be asked some questions which could be: describe about your project, tell me about yourself. So when I'm asking you, tell me about yourself, you should be able to tell relevant experiences which makes you suitable for this position, right? So do not pay attention to the wording of the question. Try to understand the intent of the question, right? When I'm asking you, tell me about yourself, although I'm asking you, tell me about yourself, but you'll not say that, yes, I am a person who likes to roam around and watch Netflix, or, right, go out and travel, and all these are not relevant. You have to tell what are your qualities which makes you suitable for this position. So you will say, I am so and so person, I have good knowledge of Java programming. And when I say that I'm good knowledge, or I'm good in the programming, I have to give one example, because I have worked on this project and I was able to complete this project, and this project has won this award, or was liked by so many people, etc. You can share. This will ensure the interviewer understand and he appreciates that you are a good programmer, because anyone can tell I'm a good programmer. But if you can give a solid example which proves this fact, then this will be considered honest statement. Right? Now, if you have the skill, right? I see one more question about freelancing, right? So yes, for everything, for any job, or even if you have to be a successful freelancer, same things apply. You have to identify what would be your primary skill and master that skill, right? So if you want to become a good freelancer, programmer, then you should have this skill. Again, it's like for getting the contract also, you have to clear the interview. So either you share your profile and share your projects, build a portfolio in addition to the resume, and then you will obtain the projects, right? And you need to have recommendations also, like you need referrals in interviews, right? So, but yes, is easy to get. It's not very difficult. If you are active in technical community, if you are learning new things, you will definitely have colleagues, classmates, seniors, alumni, friends, relatives who can help you utilize them, leverage your network. But yes, I highly recommend as a fresher, you should spend time in industry because you need learning. And if you spend some initial years in working in good companies, working in FANG companies, definitely later you have a lot of opportunities, right? You can become an entrepreneur because you have seen how best world-class programmers they work, how to work in multinational environment and in big teams. So you will be able to work as a freelancer or work as a entrepreneur or a CEO, CTO, leader. So I would highly appreciate if initially try preparing and get good job in big companies. Right? Or at least you should have good experience doing practical things. And you would also argue that yes, there are many people who started with entrepreneurship, but yes, there are always exceptions. Yes, but yes, I would say people who have done stuff professionally and then have moved to entrepreneur, then you have better chances of success. Right, I see one more question, which is from Anusha, is about scope of data science. Right, so what is the scope or future of data science? Or what is the future of ML? Definitely know all these streams in software, whether it's front-end development. If someone asks me, what is the future of mobile development? Or what is the future of back-end development or building cloud applications or building data science application or building ML application? Answer is yes. The future scope is brighter, right? Because everything in the world is driven by software. And you will always have a lot of opportunities, right? Maybe there will be temporary phases where there could be less openings, but yes, still there are opportunities. And in long run, definitely there will be plenty of opportunities because maybe 2 years back, most of the engineers, they used to have skilled engineers. They used to have multiple offers, not one, multiple offers, and they can choose, negotiate best packages based on all these offers, and they can join. Because when you have more lot of choices, you can be choosy, you can negotiate and get very good growth opportunities also, right? So in all these streams, future is very bright because software is required for everything, right? Whether you have to run a store or run any business, which could be hotel or airline, everything is driven by software these days. So do not worry about the scope or future. Software industry has the best future other than any other industry, right? So yes, hope this has answered most of your queries. Please raise hand if I have missed out your query or you have any other query, because I believe I have answered. Yeah, I see a few more questions. I see about course fees, one question. This anyway, you can reach out to academic counselor. I have already answered this. And then about the training details, yes, you can always reach out to the academic counselor. And the way to reach out is you can fill out the Google form, which is shared to you. You can just see the message from Nikshubha and you will fill up the form, and then automatically you will be called by the person. So I see one question from Jaswant. He's asking how much conceptual knowledge is needed for interviews. Right? So first thing is practical knowledge is important. When I say programming language, knowledge of data structures and algorithm, all is practical knowledge, right? Because you solve the problem, these are programming problems, they are simpler challenges. But yes, it's not conceptual challenge because very similar challenges you will face when you are working on some large scale applications, right? Maybe not, you will not using all the concepts, but one concept or the other you will be using in one project or the other, right? So over a period of time, you will be using all the concepts. So for data structures and programming, I understand everyone will have the common feeling that this is very practical thing. Now about architectural concept, right? So I understand this question is more towards architectural concepts, because you will be asked some questions like design Facebook, design YouTube, design WhatsApp. But yes, you should understand again, here the interviewer is not interested in your solution. He's interested in your approach. So you will be only able to clear this interview, answer this question well, if you have good practical knowledge. So that's why build a project, learn for all the concept which you are learning, apply it in practice, and this practical understanding is what you have to share, right? Because if I'm an interviewer or you are an interviewer at Google, assume, you know that most of the content is available in YouTube. How to answer any interview question in FANG companies, there are thousands of videos, right? So you will not appreciate if someone is just copying the solution from any of the available content, because anyone can do, right? Someone can see the video and exactly respond like what is done in the video. That is not sufficient. You have to share your experience, your approach, and if you have done practically, then only you will be able to do it. So yes, concepts are important because all the concepts which are fundamental concepts, they are used for building complex solutions. But what is more important is your practical understanding and practical experience of using these concepts. Right? Hope I answer your question, Jashwant. Great. Great. Nice to know that I was able to answer. Great. If no further question, then I can hand it over to Nikshuba. Yes. And I will thank you all for participating, asking questions. I really enjoyed interacting with you. And you can always stay in touch with me. As Nikshuba has already shared, I'm a technical author and have worked in various organizations. I will always be willing to help. So outside this session also, you may connect with me over LinkedIn and any further help or advice. And I also keep having such sessions on regular basis. So we can looking forward to see you in upcoming sessions.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank you so much, everyone who is present over here right now and who was there during the masterclass with us. Now, talking about our full stack development bootcamp, right? I have shared a link with you all to refer to the website without asking a lot of more of your time. I would just directly jump to the scholarship. You can see onto the website that the program fee is 85,000, right? And there is another option, which is pay after placement, where the program fee is 48,000 plus 8% of your placed CTC, correct? So I would like to offer a scholarship up to rupees 15,000. So I request you all to submit the Google form. Correct? Submit the Google form and your academic counselor will get in touch with you. There are certain terms and conditions to avail the scholarship, which will be explained by your academic counselor, and you can get in touch with him. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining with us today. Have a great evening. Have a great day ahead. Happy weekend.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.